Welcome back. Joining us on the show now is Peter McGuire. He's CEO, Exim Australia. Peter, hi, good to have you. And what a month November has been. I mean, barring everything, barring only crude, everything else actually saw a very strong gain in the month of November. But let's start with crude because now we do understand that 4th of December meeting is happening virtual. They're not meeting in person. Does that undermine the importance of the whole event?
I don't necessarily, good afternoon, Manisha. I don't necessarily think it undermines it in any fashion or form because we've been used to those sort of conditions over the last couple of years, unfortunately, with the COVID crisis. So, yes, it's just a matter of how we do business. But I'm waiting to see what they think as far as mood and sentiment, and that will be read very quickly from the market. We've been strongly bid up, as we know, over the last session or so. And there seems to be a little bit of positive tone coming across from China. And, of course, equities really pushing hard.
So, after the 3% gain that we've seen yesterday, are you looking at higher highs coming back in case of crude? Because we've posted 7 to 9% of a decline for the month of November. December promises to be eventful. I mean, there's just so much happening, at least in the first half, before we head for the holidays.
Well, exactly. I mean, even this week alone, you've got tomorrow with NFP, we've got the Russia situation, what's going on there. Yeah, so I think that I won't be surprised for it to edge up a couple of dollars. It was pretty heavily smacked down, as you know, over November, and maybe we're just going to find some of those, a bit of a retracement, maybe a couple more bucks. And traders are rubbing their hands with glee because it's been exciting. And you've also got that continued weakness as far as US dollar, Manisha. You've got the yen, don't forget that. We're nearly at 3-month highs at about a 136 handle. You were at 150 only the other week.
Oh, well, yes. Peter, what's your sense on the natural gas? Because there is cold weather forecast coming in now. Are you looking at support continuing here? Because the last week, the last day, the month of November, all has been in positive.
Absolutely. Well, yes, I won't be surprised for NYMEX gas to, edge up higher from here. It'd be not unusual, Manisha, considering that cold weather really starts to bite in that northeast of US and, of course, across Eurozone. So, yeah, I'm thinking that I wouldn't be surprised for it to edge up higher, crude prices up a bit and, another market that's very dynamic to trade is, of course, the nat gas market.
All right. So how do you see the month of December, at least? How do you see the year ending for the crude prices to begin with?
Well, Manisha, I think it's going to be exciting. I'll tell you what. That's just so wonderful because we've had a dynamic 11 months, so I don't think it's going to disappoint. Is Santa Claus going to be there for a rally across equities and what's happening with Jay Powell? He seems to be backing off, and of course the COVID situation of backing down a little bit with lockdowns for across China and the whole basin. So yeah, a positive tone, increased move to the upside for crude, a couple of bucks. And let's just see where we are by middle of the month because there's a lot of traffic to get underway in the next 2 weeks, as you mentioned.
Oh, absolutely. How are you also looking at the metal prices? Because very strong gains there overnight for the month of November. I mean, gold and silver have put an outperformance. So have other metals like steel, iron ore up 25%, even copper, nickel, aluminum, zinc, almost everything up nearly 8 to 9%.
Exactly. Well, iron ore has been outstanding, but I tell you what, everyone's keeping their eye very much on gold's little brother because silver's been dynamic and, it's offering plenty of returns, plenty of, I think, opportunity even in the months ahead. And at $22 an ounce, it's probably relatively cheap. What is it, $22.30? So I think there's more upside for the silver market. And as that US dollar comes under continued pressure, I'm sure that some of those big economies are going to ramp up rates even harder, be the likes of UK and Eurozone, Manisha. So they're playing catch up against the Fed.
So among the metals, do you think iron ore and steel, rather silver, perhaps stand out the most?
I think so. I wouldn't be surprised for silver to go up another leg up. And as far as iron ore's been, quite strong. So, yeah, from a retail trade perspective, silver seems to be a lot easier to trade. And, it's dynamic. It's got, there's a great storyline attached to it. And, it's playing off its big brother. And the big brother's doing pretty well. I mean, at 1780. You might have an 1800 to handle by in the next session or two.
All right, so 1800 could be coming in for gold in the next couple of sessions itself. Silver can continue to outperform, buying in gold and rather energy sector as well. So I think everything in commodities seems to be doing well. So as of now, the direction clearly is on the buy side. Peter, as always, thank you so much for joining us and giving us a sense on commodities. With that, it's time up on Halftime Report. After the break, Business Lunch takes all the action forward.